everyone. Today, I'd like to welcome back Jeff, the CEO of Greenbriar, and talk a bit about Sage Ranch. So welcome, Jeff.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ron.
Okay, to get right to it, I guess probably one of the biggest questions on most people I talk to is how things are progressing at Sage Ranch with the approval, and when can we expect sales to start?
Okay, well, thank you, Ron. Good question. Yeah, so we submitted, as you know, we got the full entitlement August of 2021. We had the city approved the track map that you have in front of the screen here for everybody, September 7th, 2021. That was a political approval. So that is the acceptance of the city that we can build 995 homes. Since that time, we've taken that map that you're showing, and we've then converted that into 995 homes, including all the detailed engineering that's required to build those homes, which would be the sewer, the drainage, the water, the utilities, the sidewalks, the gutters, roads, the grading, of course, and all of the amenities, including the parks, tennis courts, swimming pool, clubhouse, and the off-site improvements as well, which is the additional increase in size in drainage from the site running north down to Tehachapi Boulevard. So a lot of detailed engineering work that definitely takes well over a year to complete. We submitted the package in November of 2022. So after a year, the submission was ready to come in. We got about 2 pages of adjustments requested from the city, which is very, very happy with. Normally you would get 30 or 40 pages. We got 2. We made those adjustments. Those included a bunch of details that the city wanted extra information on houses that normally would not go in at this stage of development, but nevertheless, city wants to make sure that when it approves 995 homes, that city council is getting as much detail as possible. That's all been submitted, and the final package was sent in early May, and the city made it clear now it's reviewing all the information for approval. It's taking the planning director, who's also their chief engineer, is taking 9,000 odd pages of drawings and details and converting it into a summary document that will go to all of the city council members, and then he'll socialize that document with the members, and then call a meeting and basically call a meeting for approval. Normally, you would in a big city, the precise development plan, you would have that plan approved by city engineer and the staff. In this case, we're doing the same, but because this is such a large project, that even though that this engineering work is a perfunctory approval, it's not a political approval, meaning the entitlements already occurred, but it's simply approving the engineering drawings. Because you're doing this for 995 homes, the city council, they want to put it in front of city council and have city council review the summary, give each council member the 9,000 pages of documents, but actually have a summary on top of that, so they can be well educated that all the details are there, and then they vote on the approval of the engineered drawing. So this is really approval of the technical features, as opposed to the entitlement itself, which already happened. So we're expecting this to go in July. They could make June. They're definitely shorthanded on a project this size, but they assure me they're going to call the meeting for as soon as possible to give the approval, and then we can go ahead and we can formally get our yellow report and formally take binding purchase and sale agreements. Lucky for us, the $40 million loan package that we secured with Voya Financial. Voya is going to finance at least 30% of that 40 million up front before we even have one official purchase and sale agreement, because the city, Voya wants us to build all the improvements, the roads, the clubhouse, and have everything in place. And they're willing to fund that. There's enough security on the 1,000 lots and the infrastructure where they're comfortable and safe. And once those improvements start work, we'll have the yellow report and we'll have the binding purchase and sale agreements. Phase one, there's a phase every year. Averages about 165 phases a year for the next 6 years. Phase one happens to be 144 homes. That's been spoken for. We've received over 300 reservations well over 2 years ago. So the big realtors in town are very comfortable that in the 700 odd homes that are bought and sold every year in Tehachapi Valley, they're very comfortable that they'll place these 144 homes, both with people that live in the valley and people who work through the aviation industry 30, 40 minutes away, who'd rather choose to live in Tehachapi in a very safe community, you know, with a brand new home for $450,000, than having to drive 2 hours of rush hour south in a home that's going to cost them $1.1 million to $1.5 million. So we've got a very special situation here, and we're excited. And once we start and cut the ribbon, we start a program of approximately 80 million a year US dollars in revenue, and around 24 million in net profit. Those are US dollars. And we still have only 34 million shares outstanding. So this project will be a massive game changer for Greenbriar and the shareholders. Take us to a completely different level, and we're very excited, looking forward to it.
So the shovels could be in the ground in what, August, possibly?
Yeah. So if we get PDP approval in July, I think it would take between 4 to 8 weeks to get all the pertinent permits. And these are permits you don't need city council approval on. You're simply pulling permits. So I think at that point you're a month to 2 months away for shovels hitting the ground, and we'll have a lot of press. There's no question that we will have all the major newspapers in Southern California and all the major news media, you know, cover this. The other interesting thing too is, you know, the medium average price of the seven odd hundred homes a year that change hands in Tehachapi Valley. Latest update was the last 15 months, 920 homes traded. Is that the medium average is around 447, and that's exactly where our pricing is. So you want to be right where the liquidity is. There's a national builder who's about 6 blocks away, who bought the last 55 remaining lots from a subdivision of 20 years ago. And with the options available on the homes, they're priced at around 550 to 580 when you finally take the package. And when you're $100,000 over the market, you lose effectiveness, meaning you walk out of the market pricing. So you want to stay at that 450 range, but to ensure that our project's healthy, then you offer people product that obviously fits at that $447,000 range, which is mainly a smaller home. So in the case of phase one, as an example, our homes will be around 1,300 square feet on the first phase, which is 700 square feet smaller than the competition 6 blocks away at 2,000 feet. But again, unfortunately, in that subdivision, by the time you buy the options, you're going to be paying up to 575, so in the 530 to 580,000 range. So you're about 100,000 over market. So we are adhering to the principles of dealing with pricing in the market liquidity, and we do have a whole series of very substantial government subsidies that makes the projects very affordable and attractive to new home buyers coming in. So again, very, very unique situation with great government support. And as you know, the California market is critically short entry level homes. I mean, there's just nothing brand new in this price range that you can work at. From the profit and loss standpoint, as you know, Altus published an extensive document back in January of 2022. And it basically stated somewhere around the neighborhood of about $150 and $160 a square foot, including all the improvements and all the amenities, at a selling price of $272. So it forecasted $173 million US dollars in net profit over the life of the project, or a net present value of $124 million. And here we are, a year and a half later. We've got that cost up around $20 more on the construction costs, but instead of having a $272 per square foot sale price, we're now at $309 a square foot. So the sell price over the last 2 years has increased a little bit more than the per square foot cost of the actual construction. So again, a nice little touch for us, but it continues to maintain our margin and our price level, and we're very happy about that. So shareholders have something extremely concrete, extremely reliable, and extremely sure. And as soon as we get through the summer here, you're going to have some very happy shareholders.
Sounds good. I was wondering how the revenue hits for Greenbriar. Like, would the house have to be closed, or you get some money up front on the sale, or then there's commissions? So how will the revenues, I guess, hit the financials?
Yeah. So the beauty of a horizontal subdivision compared to what we know in Vancouver, where I'm from originally, Vancouver, Canada, and Toronto, when you build vertical construction in Vancouver and Toronto, as you know, you put up a 50-story tower that would have 500 units. You have to wait until the person that wants to move in on floor number 2 has to wait for floor number 45 to be completed. So you don't collect revenue until the very end of the project. In the case of a horizontal subdivision, a flat housing, you basically when you do something up in the neighborhood of 165 homes a year, again, phase one's 144, but for mathematical purposes, kind of a weighted average of 165 homes a year, you're doing around 40 homes every 3 months. So you're doing a new home every couple days. So when you deliver the keys, you get the money. Okay. So money rolls in steady. It rolls in on a monthly basis. And it'll definitely run in a quarterly basis. And so it's very continual. You're constantly delivering keys. When you deliver keys, the entire funds are released from the bank. So very happy that we're doing a horizontal subdivision versus a vertical.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like a great advantage there. Okay, so that's looking good that we're going to see something, substantial here in the coming months. Yeah,
we'll touch up with the city. We talk to them every few days, and we'll know if there's a little tweak somewhere here or there. They'll make it known, but they're definitely looking to schedule a meeting as soon as possible. It doesn't have to be at the regularly scheduled meetings. They made that clear. They can call a special meeting any day of the month of July. Could be any day in July. And, if they're a couple days late and it's August the 2nd, so be it. But right now, they're focused on getting the meeting as soon as possible and finishing this the summary and talking to each council member one by one. So the council member goes to the meeting fully educated on what all the engineering documents look like. So therefore, they're in a good position to vote yes on the property. And of course, with the last vote we received on the entitlement was a unanimous vote of 4-0, and we expect to get the same. One person abstained because they're on the local hospital charity, and of course we donate to that charity, hospital charity, so they got conflicted out. But we expect nothing less than a complete 100% unanimous vote of approval.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I got some more time here. Wondered how things are going with the solar project in Puerto Rico, Montana.
Yeah, so the government put out or PREPA, because we were disputing us not getting the approval back when we got the approval in June of 2020, along with other 16 other projects during extensive negotiations over several years. If you remember the oversight board that said, hey, no, look, we want only 2 projects to come in at that pricing, and we want the other 14 to go back in the public bidding. And we publicly protested, and we said, look, that's going to be the wrong decision. If you go to a public auction, the prices are going to even go higher because we know the solar market. We know the cost in Puerto Rico. Been there for 14, 15 years. The federal government did not listen to our advice. And so here we are 3 years later. And of course, the public auction prices are, 30, 40% higher than what the bilaterally negotiated agreements were. Nevertheless, we never went away silently. We disputed this argument in front of the Puerto Rican Energy Bureau, which is the equivalent of the British Columbia Public Utilities Commission or the Ontario Public Utilities Commission, and their view was, yeah, this was a very legitimate legal argument, and they opened a file, and we submitted all our evidence. And through that, PREPA started to negotiate with us for a settlement. PREPA put out a public document. I believe it was in the middle of April. I think it was April the 10th, and they issued that on their public website. And it said that they would get all the approvals that they needed and ready by May the 10th. So this was not a number or a date that we came up with. This was a date done by PREPA, and they missed some deadlines, and they haven't updated the public website simply because they want to get this thing completed, and working through their own bureaucracy of getting this completed, and that's what we're currently doing. They haven't released anything because they want to get this thing completed. So we'll, as soon as I hear from our lawyers on PREPA signing off, we'll make that public release. So expect to hear something shortly on Montalva, and we expect to have approval on that as well.
Okay, well, that sounds looking promising too. Yeah, so just I guess for investors here's the chart and the symbols. The stock's down pretty low here, Jeff. I guess it's the buy of the year.
Oh, absolutely. Market cap of 30 million Canadian. Sage Ranch alone is 33, 34 million a year in cash profit. So yeah, I'm unhappy. I'm the CEO of the company. Can't blame anybody but myself. Working on getting the story out, the messaging out, and working with the appropriate people to get the message out. We do have some very sizable investors in the company who've been with me for many years. They own very large positions with their families. They're the ones that are buying it down at these prices. I feel really bad when people get frustrated when they, look at a date and they want something to be, at a public meeting in May and it doesn't make that date, and then they get frustrated and walk away and they sell, and it's unfortunately a bad thing when that happens. But this is definitely the buy of the century. I don't think there's any stock out there that offers a value like this. This is a solid infrastructure stock. I go to bed every night, wake up, the value of the project is worth more every morning of every week of every month of every year. Nobody's running away with real estate. Nobody's taking anything away from us. We're not drilling holes in the ground hoping for an intersection. We're not hoping for a phase 1, phase 2 clinical trial result. This is solid Mother Earth, hardcore infrastructure assets. This is the buy. People should be loading up right now. I can't speak on behalf of people's personal, their own financial ability. They've got to seek their own third-party financial advice for that. But it's the stock is a steal. There's no question about it. So anybody out there watching this video, this is the best buying opportunity in my opinion. I've been in the market for 43 years. I took my first company public in 1985, 38 years ago, and this is the best value that's out there that I've ever had. So I encourage everybody to take a real hard look at this and be comfortable that you're getting into something that you're not getting robbed of any value whatsoever. The value is there. It's much higher. Look at the Altus report. Gives us a value of over $5.40 a share when you convert into Canadian dollars. So all in all, this is a great company. We're doing the right stuff.
No, I agree. Okay, well, thanks for coming on, Jeff, and the update. That was very good.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much, Ron. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.